Sean, let's go back over some of the key points of what's happened here in the last couple of hours. We'll put it up on your screen right now, folks, so you can kind of follow along with us. So Boone County deputies were serving a search warrant over there on near Chestnut Drive behind the Kroger there in Walton, Kentucky. This was, again, about 10 o'clock or so at the Town Creek Crossing Apartments. The suspect immediately opened fire after they got into the place. I've watched video of the deputies who were standing around the door trying to get in, and it appears after maybe one of them got inside, the shots immediately started ringing out and deputies started running off into different directions. We heard in that news conference a short time ago that deputies were not able or did not return fire at all. Deputies quickly got out. They got the injured officers out of there. They asked the neighbors to get out of there as soon as they could. And right now we know that one suspect is still barricaded in an apartment. We don't know if it's his actual place where he lives or just an apartment where he happens to be, but he is alone in that apartment. They believe they were serving a search warrant. This was a child custody case where payments were not being made, custody payments were not being made, and they were serving that search warrant on a $14,000 bond. We're staying on the air right now because there's this developing situation back there in the apartment complex as they are trying to get a line of communication to that suspect. And we're also waiting to hear if Cincinnati's Police Chief Terry Thigi will speak with our Rachel Whalen over there in a support role at UC Medical Center. But if you're just joining us here at 12 minutes after 12, we're now into the early morning hours of Friday. There's a very, very large police presence over there in Walton, Kentucky. We're being respectful. They've got police tape up. Obviously, we would never cross that anyway, but they've got police tape up right now, and they've got a big circle of vehicles, and we are way, way, way behind all of that. Cameras pushed in a little bit so you can see that first vehicle there right behind the police tape. But this incident is happening way back behind where our cameras are right now, and we can't actually see. If you zoom in as far as you can see officers all the way back there, hundreds and hundreds of yards back, and presumably the apartment complex back there as well, where the suspect is holed up right now. They're trying to make communication with him, trying to get him out of there before any more damage is done. We do know, obviously, that this suspect has a gun because shots were fired from inside of the place. 2 Boone County deputies shot, one right now in surgery at UC Medical Center, shot multiple times in the chest. That deputy did have a bulletproof vest on. We don't know exactly where in the chest that officer was shot. The other deputy was shot in the legs. A tourniquet was applied. And again, all of this is coming in as we're watching it along with you at home. And again, it speaks to the dangers of police work, what these people do, whether it be a traffic stop on the side of the road or something like this where you're serving a search warrant, sadly, in a custody dispute, and all of a sudden your life is on the line. In this case, both of those deputies are stable. Yeah. We don't know the exact condition, but we'll work to find that out.
We do know that the people in that apartment complex have been evacuated. We heard earlier that people surrounding were asked to shelter in place. And I want to bring Sean McKinnon back in here because, Sean, you were there on the scene, and I believe near that Kroger, and you mentioned other businesses in the area. Have you seen people, employees or anyone that were able to leave and come out of those businesses? I know that Kroger closed at about 11 o'clock tonight.
Yeah, and I'm actually seeing sheriff's deputies, they just physically pulled open the doors to Kroger right now. So I can't tell what's going on in Kroger right now, but just as you were tossing to me, Ashley, I did see law enforcement physically pull open those automatic doors to Kroger and walk inside. I haven't seen anybody walking in or out of Kroger all night as long as I've been here. But in this area, in this parking lot that we're all set up in, there's gas stations, there's some businesses that way, but it's been late at night this whole time. Everything's presumably been shut down. The only thing that would have been open as this was all unfolding around 10 o'clock would have been that McDonald's. The Kroger, I believe, was set to stay open until 11 o'clock at night, so law enforcement would have addressed that situation earlier before we arrived. So there's been no customers and employees walking around as long as I've been here. Ashley?
Sean, also, I did see people earlier I don't know if they were just in the area or spectators, people that were there in the parking lot that were not obviously police officers or media. Have you talked to anyone about who were those people and what were they? Are they just in the area, or what was happening there?
There's some people who live in the area who have stopped by, seen what's going on, but there's also, I've talked to one man, his son lives in that greater apartment complex. His son does not live in the building where this is all taking place. It's an adjacent one that's not attached. He was just, I'm getting those videos into our newsroom right now, actually. He was able to send me some videos that we have permission to use. You can hear one woman, that man's girlfriend, on video saying, oh, they shot his windows out, and it appears that you can see a green dot laser as well. So we're getting those videos into our newsroom right now. We have permission to use those. Also, a Ring camera video that man's son was able to take. You can hear some banging. It doesn't sound like gunshots to me and other people, but it does sound like some sort of police and SWAT activity. So we have those videos into our newsroom right now. Hopefully we can get those on air in the coming moments.